Hey, everybody, welcome into the Winning Edge podcast. We are back. We are ready. We are here. We're fired up because, hey, guess it's a huge day. It's Tuesday,
Election night
November
coverage.
5th. No, don't say that. No, what are we doing, man? No, it's a huge day for America because the college football playoff rankings just released within an hour.
And there's no other reason why it's a big day. That's the only reason.
And no, there's another reason, Jordan.
Well, there's more than one.
There's more than one. The NFL trade deadline was concluded at 4 o'clock today. A lot of people on the move, people going here, people going there. Teams are getting better. People selling the whole fucking team. So, hey, we'll cover that. We'll cover the NFL trade deadline. We'll talk about the new 12-team playoff bracket released. Hey, it really doesn't mean a damn thing right now, I'll be honest with you. But, hey, we're here to talk about it. We're excited to talk about it. We're obviously going to lean heavy on the college football side tonight because we have lots to discuss. A huge weekend in college football this past weekend. A lot of implications on the playoff. So, to my right, I got Daniel, Mr. Illinois Fighting Illini, reporter. So we'll go with him and ask him how he's feeling today. Dan, how are you feeling today on this Tuesday?
I mean, I feel like you're kind of underplaying at the at-large common council bid for School City of Mishawaka. That's the real hot topic tonight, Zach. I don't even know if that's actually a thing or not, but I'd rather talk about that than what's going on with my team.
Really? You'd rather talk about politics than what's going on in Illinois?
I'd rather talk about a fictitious at-large common council bid than the way that Illinois is trending the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Why, dude? You started so high on the season. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, a couple losses. Who cares, man? You guys have a hell of a season compared to the last 4 or 5 years.
Going to a bowl game?
Yeah, you're bowl eligible. I mean, come on. You're going bowling?
You don't understand. We're a fan base that even though we usually get 2 wins a year, we expect undefeated seasons all the time. No, okay. Not really. No, it's just disheartening because, again, it's just they had Minnesota was one of those games where I said, ideally they should have hopefully been able to win out. And, yeah, you could point to there was quite a bit of, I mean, at one point the whole sideline was basically almost out on the field over some of the officiating calls, like a snap after the clock had expired for Minnesota. There were some things that, I mean, ultimately.
Yeah, but if you dominate the football game, you don't ever have to worry about the rest because you're far ahead.
I thought you were asking my opinion, not you were going to just crap on my.
I'm just letting you know.
He's probably correct.
I was getting to that point, which is, again, you don't want to leave it in the hands of the officials, but ultimately it's disheartening because it came down to the wire at the last part of the game. Illinois had the ball, got into red zone territory with time left, and then it was, back-to-back sacks. Again, that offensive line has become a bit more of a liability as time progresses. They're a little undersized, just like their D-line, I think, compared to, if you look at maybe the average across other Big Ten schools, especially your quote-unquote power schools in that conference, right? So this
is a hell of an intro. I'm just trying to see how the hell you're doing, brother. I don't really give a shit about the Illinois football team.
You brought up Illinois, so I was just
I'm just saying that that's your squad, but how are you feeling? How you doing on this Tuesday?
Oh, I'm in a great mood. I'm fantastic.
Okay. All right, great. Jordan, how are you doing on this Tuesday?
Well, the Giants are, in the I'm just fucking with you. No, I'm doing no, I'm doing really well. I'm starting to, I don't know, the backwards like logic of like, hey, you need to exercise and work out and get yourself tired to then make sure that you're not tired on other days, like to create that tolerance and build up your energy levels, right? You think, hey, I'm not going to do anything would make you, I'm preserving energy. That is that's not the case. So started my workouts back up tonight. Was tired right after it, feeling pretty good. About an hour or so, 2 hours actually after I did it. So it's feeling good. I feel good. Hopefully, I could just tell, man, lately it's been, I don't know what it is. Just that's exactly what it is. So start getting the movement back up, putting that back in my regimen for the day. I get about 8,000 steps, walking around pretty decently throughout work. So it's just nice to add a little bit extra at the end of the night. So we're feeling good.
Good. That's what I love to hear. Let's go, Jordan. Hey, bring it up for the buddy. Hey, on this workout journey, we're going to follow you with it, and we're going to keep a track on it. Make sure you are accountable and continue to rock and roll. All right, buddy? That's what we're going to do as good friends here for you.
Accountability, man. It's good for you, too. It clears the mind. You know, even something small, 10, 15 minutes for the day, it's a good idea.
I remember Dan and I, we were working out together, and we were feeling great, and then all of a sudden, we all stopped. But like during that time we were working out, like yes, like I can concur with you 2,000%. My body was hurting, but guess what?
We switched jobs and schedules, and it made it a lot less appealing.
Made it a little difficult.
Yep.
But no,
it was a lot easier to go at 2 in the afternoon than it was
a lot
at
easier
dinner
to go
time.
at 2 o'clock rather than 5, and then also going down into a huge amount of traffic and getting all the way back up to Michigan from Elkhart. So it's a pain in the ass too.
Oh, yeah.
Quick shout out to Hadley May. Hi, Hadley.
Oh, bring her in. We got to get
come
her.
Here. You should be in bed, baby.
Let's see her. Let's see this.
Come here.
You should be in bed.
Want to see Uncle Dan?
This is what happened when Jordan streamed at one point. Zyla got on and everybody was like, bring her back. Bring her back. Boo.
Hey.
Come here, little princess.
Oh, she's playing shy. Hi, Hadley.
Can you say hi? Uncle Dan wants to say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Hadley.
Okay.
This is how she acts when I try to go around her in person, too.
She's
grumpy.
Like,
adorable.
She's grumpy.
Where's the other one? Is Emery sleeping?
That one actually is sleeping, so that's good.
She just chills, dude.
Wave
she
and
just
say
wants to. Hi, Hadley.
Yo, that's crazy. She looks just like your wife.
That's Zyla Dad and
Uncle
Dan.
That's crazy. Yeah. Just like your sister, Dan. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I love you. Go get
some
sleep.
Emery looks like Zach, but it's mainly because they're both bald for the most part.
Let's go.
Love you, baby. Have some good sleeps, okay?
They both get equally pumped up about fucking crushing some dinner too.
Dude, we smash some dinner together. Absolutely.
She still does that little kid thing where she's like, "Oh, there's food coming!" Like just,
and she just bangs the tables. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
She loves it, dude.
I love it. All right, that's awesome. That's a good little serotonin right there. Love that. Love that little girl.
Also,
we're fighting bedtime right now with her. Lately, she's I don't want to go to sleep. Okay, well, that's not good for us. So,
well, we do. So go to bed.
Yeah. So sorry about it. But let's jump into the college football. I guess the biggest topic right now. Let's just talk about the 12-team playoff reactions. I guess whatever predictions that they came out with just a couple hours ago, actually. So, I got the picture pulled up. I don't know if I can share my screen with you folks so you guys can actually see it.
I've got mine pulled up too. I don't know if you can share it with them, but
it'll just show up for like us probably.
Whoa,
it's cool.
So this is a fancy deal here. So let's just go through the bye weeks, right? The first section here. So Oregon, they're just predicting that Oregon wins the Big Ten, and sits at the number 1 seed and has a first round bye. Miami wins the ACC. It's a 3 seed and then gets a first round bye as well. And then they're predicting Georgia wins the SEC at the number 2 spot as a first round bye as well. And then BYU, the Mormons going absolute bananas over there, getting a bye and winning the Big 12 is what they're predicting. So,
not sure if you said this, but this is ESPN's college football playoff prediction, right? Or projections. Correct. Okay, got you.
Yeah, this is the ESPN, the committee. Like this is the first committee release of the top 25 of the playoff or whatever, bracketology.
Gotcha.
Or whatever they call it. So that's kind of, I don't know. Obviously, there's a couple surprises there. I like by BYU, obviously, is like, wow. The Big 12 is absolutely bananas at this second. I did not predict the Big 12 looking like this going into this season. Jordan, touch on BYU a little bit. I know we kind of talked about it every once in a while during this game. I know they play late games, but goodness, it's kind of a surprise, yeah?
Yes and no. I think a surprise, yes. I don't know if I have the utmost confidence that they'll come out of the Big 12. Honestly, I feel like Colorado is flowing at the right time, right? I think firepower across, we talked about them, Shedeur Sanders, you've got Travis Hunter, right? But BYU is just, I think, a collective. If that's that which might be coming out of why people are giving them the edge. So I don't know, man. It's kind of a toss-up for top 25 teams sitting there at the top of the Big 12 anyways. BYU, of course, undefeated in both conference play and overall play. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. But if it's a collective, I think BYU is as a whole. You can't just rely on a couple people to show up and show out. So you got the team around you. Hopefully that'll push them and a little bit further than they need to get that first round bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would, going into this year, I would even predict that a Big 12 team would even be in that first round bye, honestly. But I guess with the conferences, there's really not any other like Power 5 conference really. So whoever did win that, I guess would. I guess that logically makes sense, but I didn't think about it in my head like, oh, Big 12. It's always Big 10, ACC, and SEC right now. That's all we talk about.
Yeah, so those are the Big 4, right? So they get the automatic bids for the first round buys, and then then it's kind of rank conference champions and rank after that, correct?
Yeah, so it looks like, so if we jump to the first round here, so like this top left here, the Boise State, they're the last seed to get in. Most likely wins their conference. So obviously that helps them in the Mountain West, which is not a very, powerful conference. But that puts them there going up against Ohio State, which Ohio State, it looks like on this would be the second team in the Big Ten. So I'm assuming it'd be like Oregon, Ohio State, Big Ten championship type situation is what they're looking at. And then you drop down to number 9, Indiana, which it looks like that'd be the third team in the Big Ten. Or fourth team, sorry, and then Penn State would be the third. But they go up against Tennessee, so an 8-9 seed there, and then the winner would play Oregon. Drop down Alabama. They have a tough game this weekend. We'll get into it here, but they're at the number 11th spot. As Texas is number 6, so 2 SEC teams battling off right there in the first round. And like I said, Penn State 7, Notre Dame 10. Which a lot of people are obviously hating on the Notre Dame fact that they're even going to be in the bracket. But
no, they deserve it if they win out.
If they win out, then they need to have a spot, maybe even just a 12 spot, bump Boise State up or whatever. But
either way,
that's what kind of looks like. So I mean, we got a lot of teams. So this will bring me to my question to you folks, and Jordan, Dan, is does a 3-loss team have a spot in this college football playoffs?
As it stands right now, no.
Okay, elaborate.
There's too many other teams that have we've talked about every week. There's plenty of other teams that have won the games that they should win, or that even some of those that have lost have less losses. So why should a 3? You know what I mean? Like, so it'd be stupid, to, in my opinion, to put a 3-loss team up there when you've got other teams that are theoretically would be below them that would have 1 loss, 0 losses, or even 2 losses, right? So, but the only way that I see that happening is if we run into the good old, as we've talked about, I think what was working with Alabama is that SEC bias stuff or something. I mean, I think it's just what we've harped on all year ultimately, right? Teams that are winning the games and doing what they're supposed to do should not be punished for the fact that some of their teams don't turn out to be Notre Dame into Florida State, right? When they scheduled that, nobody had any idea Florida State was going to be in the position they are now, right? That's not Notre Dame's fault. Notre Dame should go in, given where they're at. If Notre Dame goes in and they win the way they should, then that's all that should matter. Same thing applies to the rest of the teams.
Yeah, so a 1-loss, 2-loss team, more acceptable.
Or even
obviously.
No-loss team. Let's say Army loses 1 game. I don't care that they're Army. They deserve it more than a 3-loss team.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, in your opinion, but that's a problem. Not the problem, but that's the college football playoff rate, like ESPN, the rankings and all that. Like they're gonna go off of
strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff.
They have, and what this 12-team playoff bracket was supposed to be made for was the Florida States, and how you go undefeated, you win your conference, and you still get kicked out of the deal. This is supposed to give everyone an opportunity.
This year's Florida State needs a 120-team bracket to make it in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this is supposed to be giving those teams a chance. So like, I'm glad that we see Indiana in there. I'm glad we see a Boise State in there that is taking care of business and doing their thing. But SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams in the top, 5 of their conference, all 1 loss, and they all been playing each other. It's like Alabama beats Georgia. That's the number 3 team in the country. Alabama, even with 2 losses, 1 to Vandy, and then 1 to was it Missouri?
I don't remember the other.
Missouri. But either way, they lost twice already. So but they have at least one good quality win. So it's like, how do you play that, Jordan? Like, how do you? I don't know. It's so hairy. It's so touchy, and us not knowing, I guess, the finite details. But I just want to know your opinion on that 3-loss team.
A 3-loss team for me doesn't sound right. I don't like it a whole lot, but I mean, the SEC, they beat the hell out of each other. The Big Ten, they're going to beat the hell out of each other. Unfortunately, a lot of these teams don't play each other like SEC does. So you won't get a Penn State, Oregon. You won't get, Indiana, Oregon, Indiana, Penn State. You're not getting those games this year with those teams, which is kind of not frustrating, but I think that's going to be more confusing for the end of the year specifically. But I'm assuming this bracket is a projection of what the current rankings are or what their rankings are going to be for the end of the year. Is that what this is looking like then? I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
Yeah, so when they came out with this and they explained that this is so how like the AP poll and then the coaches poll, like this is the college football poll of top 25 teams, and then they put them into a bracket pretty much.
Got you. So I'm looking at it. I mean, BYU right now currently is 9th, right, in that college football playoff ranking, but they would be them saying, hey, they're winning their division currently. That's what it is. Yeah,
I don't taking the top teams in each conference and then putting them in and then filtering out.
There's an SEC championship. There is Alabama and who Alabama plays.
They play LSU this week.
They play LSU this weekend.
LSU.
They're both 2-loss teams, so someone's going to get eliminated.
Yeah. And I mean, you still got SMU at 8-1, Texas A&M 7-2, like Ole Miss sitting there at 7-2. So like, you had a couple of missteps with Ohio State, Iowa State, and Pittsburgh, 7-1, both 2 undefeated teams coming into last week. So I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't like a 3-loss team, but getting in only unless there's no other option. That's kind of where I'm at. I know people want to see the big, good teams, the highly touted, programs in there and doing their thing, but I would like to see some of the other schools, that they're handling their business only because they're losing to good people shouldn't be an excuse.
Well, if you look at the football projections now, for example, like they put Louisville, the college football, they have 3 losses, and they put them at 22nd over an undefeated Army, over a Missouri team with 2 losses, and even a Clemson team with 2 losses. Like, they're 6-3. Why are they jumping these people?
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree with you too. I think we're all in kind of agreement. I just kind of wanted to pick your brains a little bit and kind of get some content on that because. I like the screen I just pulled up here. It gives you the percentages of the top 25 to make the playoffs right now, and obviously everyone has a chance. But what blows my mind is like the Alabama still at 55%. Now that's obviously them winning out and not losing any more games. Like there's no way. But then you go down to Colorado, only 15%, and they're sitting second, or I guess tied for second in the Big 12. It's like anything can go so crazy. It just blows my mind that one, because they only have 1 or 2 losses, I guess. But I don't know. It's just crazy. Like there's some teams on here that are like, wow, like that's such a low percentage. I feel like, compared to everything else.
Quickly going back to like with Louisville, right? Like so again, kind of just trying to understand why they put these teams where they do. Like I'm looking. So you look at Louisville, right? They're 6-3. Their wins: Austin, PA, or however you say that, Jacksonville State, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Boston College. They beat 1 ranked team. Their losses: SMU, Miami, Notre Dame. Every ranked team or tough team they played, they've gotten smoked by. But yet we're going to put them above Army, who's going in and handling business, right, where they should be, and things like that. Like, so even then, I look at strength of schedule. Like that's not a strong schedule. So why are we? I'd love to know the rationale.
They got 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked. 5 ranked teams on there. I mean, that's a tough schedule. That's harder than Notre Dame's schedule.
But they're losing to the teams that are the tough teams. That's what I mean. Like
tough
they're
losses, quality losses. I mean, they played Miami tight. They played Miami tight all the way through to pretty much 3 quarters of that game.
They're 4th in their conference.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody predicted the ACC to be this competitive up top, to be honest. But no, I mean, I understand. I hear what you're saying, but like it's almost like what we do. What are we going to have? 5 losses, and they're all ranked teams, and you played them close. Great. So now you're going to be in the top 10. Like I know where you're thinking, and and I don't think it's right. Louisville, like great, you knocked off Clemson this past week, but like, does
Clemson's
that really give you
all year?
Yeah, but like, does that really give you a
And I look
top 25.
I looked at the same thing Jordan has said about IU. Like I'm just trying to Army bandwagon. They're just a team that's there right by them. Again, okay, yeah, we get that they don't play those teams, but I mean, you're 42-14, 49-7, 44-10. So they're not just winning, like they're dominating the teams that they play, right? Like it would be one thing if Army was undefeated, but they were barely winning by 3 points against like Lehigh. They're doing the same thing IU's doing. They're going, look, we can't control who was already set for this year. Like our people are our people. So let's go out and absolutely just put on a show and perform. And that's getting them like, these people are, I guess, going like, and it's like that. Give them, they deserve more than that.
Yeah, I got you. Beautiful stuff. And this is why I do love college football almost at least 15% more than NFL. Just because there's so much more depth to it.
All right, Jordan. So back to our last week's conversation. You thought about that? Have you thought of any good recipes or anything
so much
with
more
that pumpkin flavor that's really
intuitive to thinking you have to do to like really dive in here and figure it out.
Is going to be.
But I would rather have more of a clear-cut vanilla process on how they decide this stuff. Because honestly,
that's right there.
Are you a big pumpkin pie person?
It's not working.
There he is.
There he is.
Again. Welcome back.
I'm not fucking sick and tired of this shit. You know that?
Hey, it's okay. We did our pumpkin spice a little bit.
Damn, man. I was on the rant too. I was getting after it.
You were ready to go. Had me in suspense. That's the thing, is you had me ready to go, and he was like, you know what? And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And he got quiet for a little bit. I realized what was going on.
I had glanced at another tab, and when I heard it go silent, he goes, and I'm like, okay, this is a long, awkward pause. I come back, and he's frozen.
Fucking frozen.
It's all good.
I guess I don't know what is going to happen, but it's really annoying either way. Riverside figured out, because I don't think it's my internet anymore, because everything else is working fine. Like
me and Jordan got stuff to vamp if it goes again. We got a whole sleeve of things.
Well, I appreciate it. What I mean, one thing I was just getting into is how the NFL, how I love college football more than the NFL because there's more depth into the whole deal. Obviously, more teams in here. There's more things to pull from, but there's so much more storylines that go into this that rather than the 5 teams that are good in the NFL. Like, all right, cool. So like this. So college football is this time of year now. We're obviously the first playoff rankings come out. They're trying to paint the picture, right? They're trying to show us what is what. But we really need, as fans, more vanilla process on how they're picking these teams. Because I feel like there's so much hearsay. There's so many variables that they're going. We need a baseline structure. 5-6 items that we're pulling from, even less, 3 items that we're pulling from that make impacts, rather than school size, branding, and numbers of viewers. So a lot of people are arguing right now Notre Dame shouldn't be in the top or in the 12 because they lost that terrible loss, whatever, okay? But then they're also saying, but they bring a lot of eyes to college football because they have a huge fan base, pretty much global. It's like, well, okay, that shouldn't skew them being a top 10 football team in the country. You know?
And I think that's the thing is like from year to year, like they may have a criteria, but I don't know. And maybe I could be wrong. I don't know if they've ever said like, here's the criteria that this committee uses, right? But it just from year to year, you can see you can find examples where you have to go, okay, well, how is that, where it doesn't look like they're being consistent in here's our thing. Because like you said, how many fans watch a game? If you're talking about we're looking for the 12 best teams, that should have zero impact. Let's be real.
Absolutely zero.
This is the world, right? Like that's somehow, some way, even in the back of their heads, it's gonna be a thing. But if you're trying to really look at objectively who are the 12 best teams that are out there competing right now, that kind of stuff should not matter. But unfortunately, that's human nature, human bias. It's going to play, and this is a money game, right? We can throw that whole "it's for the love of amateur sport" out the window now. Like money is a thing. Players are getting money.
This has become a semi-professional football league in this sense.
It's way better than the D League for the NBA. I'll tell you that. More fun to watch.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank God. Thank Jesus, Lord.
Preach it.
Well, yeah, there he is. Preach it.
Praise him.
Praise him. Beautiful. So, I guess I want to talk a second on. Well, not a second. I kind of want to get into it a little bit. Your week 10 reactions, right? Obviously, we talked on the top of this show that there were some big things that happened this week. I'm going to start off with a few bullet points here that I need to discuss with you folks. IU is a team. I honestly believe that IU is a legit contender in the Big Ten. Right now, they show IU and Oregon are going to play in their Big Ten championship, just between on rankings. Obviously, so let's look at that, and I kind of want to hear you guys. It's just like, do you think IU's legit or are they kind of phony? I think we're almost too far now, right? I mean,
I wouldn't go phony. I'm just saying, like, hey, even if they lose, like, how exciting is it that they're in the Big Ten championship, right? Like, I
Big
think
Ten
that's
championship.
exciting. That's
so
exciting.
So let's just look at the schedule quick. They have Michigan at home.
Which
they play Michigan at home.
Michigan is nothing right now.
I know they're nothing right now, but they still have a brand, right? They still have people on that roster. They're not shitty teams. So that's a game they need to win, obviously. And then they go to Columbus and play at the Horseshoe at Ohio State. And then they end the year off at Purdue. So these next two games are very pivotal to solidify yourself. So I don't know. Jordan, you think they're phony or do you think they got a chance, man?
Big fat phony.
I want to believe.
Yes.
But I don't know if I can.
Sure.
They've done it now, but they haven't. Like they haven't. I don't know, man. They're handling their business. I want to believe in IU. I really do. I really, really, really do. Do I think they're here? No.
You can't just be here after 1 year.
Do I think they're going to win the Big Ten? No. But I want them in the playoff just because. You know what I mean? If lose to Ohio State, exciting. Doesn't matter. Yeah. If they lose to Ohio State, I'm just as excited if they beat Ohio State. But I don't know, man. There doesn't seem to be a recipe to beat Ohio State because Oregon
physical them.
They just outshot them. You know what I mean? They were just there's a run and shoot kind of a contest, and they had more points at the end of the day, right? I don't know, man. We'll see. IU's great. I'm excited for that kind of play. We talked about Boise State, a long time ago with playing Oklahoma in the bowl game, right?
Exciting as hell.
Right, so you'd love to see it. It brings that college basketball atmosphere to college football, which is fantastic. So, I want everything that they want to accomplish to happen, but do I think so? Probably not.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean it's no less exciting than if they do make it.
So obviously IU has a harder last few games here than I guess really anyone else in the Big Ten. So I'm gonna pull Oregon's up here. Oregon has Maryland, Wisconsin, and Washington. Wisconsin is at Wisconsin next week. So they play Maryland this week at Wisconsin, which could be cold depending on how weather is. So maybe that could be a factor. And then they play at home versus Washington, which is a rival game. I mean, Washington isn't much right now, but, you got to be careful with those trap games. So let's pull up Penn State. Penn State's last couple. They got home versus Washington. They go to Purdue, and they go to Minnesota, which Minnesota's obviously proven to give people some issues. So that can't be an overlooked game. And then they got Maryland. So, I'm telling you guys, if IU loses to Ohio State, then who do you pick? Penn State or Ohio State or Penn State or Indiana? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you pick to put into the Big Ten championship?
Well, if Indiana loses to Ohio State will play Oregon. If both teams win out after those big games.
Okay, facts.
Right.
That's true.
So Penn State needs the most help out of the 4 teams that are there. So they all need weird shit to happen because IU beating Ohio State isn't necessarily good for Penn State.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they makes Ohio State look even better.
Yeah, you have to have two. You have to have Ohio State and Indiana trip up twice, and that's
so you
Ohio State
Jordan
once and Indiana twice.
So Jordan, you're pretty you're a Hoosiers fan these next couple weeks, ain't you?
No, let's send it out, man. Let's see what happens. I mean, we'll see.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say, I have to say, the way that you said that initially about IU is like that's the sound, that's the voice of a man who's been burned. His heart has been burned a few times before, and he's real hesitant to put it out there. He's like, I wanna love him, I wanna celebrate him, but it's just what the unspoken there is. But when I put my heart out there for a team, it's getting burned a little bit, and I think that that's coming from your Giants, Jordan. And I'm sorry that if that's souring your taste a bit. I want you to be able to feel that joy.
No, it's coming from a Penn State fan too. And so, what's worse? Let me ask this question: what is worse, being a Penn State fan or being a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan?
Being an Illinois fan.
Well, but honestly, because James Franklin is 1-13 versus top 5 ranked teams.
Yeah, it's 1-13. It's the same 2 teams, right? That's just what it is. It's the
I know
same
you keep saying Michigan and Ohio State. They beat the shit out of you guys for no reason.
It's just.
But now you guys are in a tough spot, man. That's a tough comparison. I think Notre Dame does the same thing, right? We can't produce the big games, but here we are. I mean, hell, this.
I mean, I think they're pretty even where they're at, right? You got the jury's still out on, God, what's his name? Freeman. I think.
Yeah, Marcus.
I like him. I like James Franklin. The whole thing calling for people to fire him. What are you gonna do? Where do you go
to coach that program?
What are you gonna get Nick Saban to come out of retirement? No, you're not.
Exactly.
Like, who else Urban Meyer? We've been down this fucking road, and you're all like, "Hey, let's get rid of the guy who recruits well, the guy who is 10-2 every single fucking year." Like, yes, it's 10-2, and it's the same 2. We have an opportunity to finish 11-1 on the season, and they're like, fire this guy. You fucking entitled pieces of shit. Like, you know what I mean? I cannot stand it, and it drives me nuts.
10-2 every year. I would,
right? Yeah, exactly. And I get it. They've been chomping at the bit to be like, just get over the 2 giant hills that have been in the way, right? And now, guess what? Now you added a giant hill and a potential giant hill in Oregon and USC. So, I don't know, man. I'd rather have consistently be at the top or in the conversation than start over. That shit would drive me nuts.
Do you feel like it's a lot like kind of like Cubs fans where it's a thing where it's like that kind of thing where they think every year is supposed to be their year and they kind of lose
Cubs fans aren't that way. You say that because you're a Sox fan.
No, they used to be that way. Like you would always hear them like, but there was just
I think they to it as well.
There's a little bit more was they had been so long they were like we've got to have it coming. But I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of this, like you said, that the lack of appreciation for the consistency is because I don't know if there's like they just expect that it should be or that it won't, whatever. But it's like the reality is, again, that's why these things like the Nick Saban Alabama thing, or whatever, like people talk about it because like it's a freak thing. Like that's not the norm. It's not the standard. It rarely happens.
Yeah. Well, that's why like people are all trying to chop Ryan Day's head off at Ohio State because he couldn't beat Michigan the last couple of years. It's like, good God, dude. Like other than that, like you guys are great. Like you guys are always there. I don't know. It's just the fans are just overreacting. They're getting all excited and been
Harbaugh got it for a while for not being able to beat Ohio State. Like it just trades. It just trades spots.
So you can't handle it.
Yeah, can't handle it. Can't handle the heat, buddy. So okay, that was one of my questions. Another is SMU. I want to talk a little bit about SMU action. I was watching that game and holy shit, boys. That team out of Texas, they can play some ball. I think they got something brewing down there. And this is their first year in the ACC, and they're really making some waves.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They only lost to BYU by 3, so
that's what I'm saying. Like they were close, and they had that game won pretty much almost 3.5 quarters. Like they were right there. I'd be interested to see kind of what they look like up against Miami. Which Miami, I don't have any trust. I don't think they win the ACC. I think they're a pretty shit team. But that's just
who?
Miami.
Crazy talk right there, dude. That's wild.
Miami's garbage.
Speak ill of the Lord, Cam Ward.
Oh hell no, Cam Ward's great. I like him.
Cam Lord,
he's great. But I don't like Miami at all. Like honestly,
I got you.
They should be playing better versus these shitty teams. Like they have no defense.
That's your Notre Dame bias. That's the whole Catholics and convicts talk coming out right now. Is what. Well,
we haven't. I mean,
what a great documentary, man!
What a great 30 for 30.
That whole series, the Pony Excess, Catholics, convicts. That's just a great series.
Oh yeah.
The Miami, the 2-part on Miami, that was badass too. I don't know, but my opinion is for them, like Duke is not a great football team. Like they have some talent, but they should not be giving up 31 points to Duke. They should not be giving up 45 points to Louisville. They should not be they pretty much lost the game to Cal, 38 points up to Cal. Like Virginia Tech, they're giving up 34 points, almost lost that game. Like I have no trust in this team. The only team that they've put a full game together was the first game at Florida. And they still gave up 17 points.
Duke almost beat SMU. So which one is it, buddy? Which one is it?
How dare you?
Are they good or are they not good? Which one is it?
I think SMU's a damn good football team.
They gave us Drake May and Mitch Trubisky. You're gonna that's at UNC. I'm being an idiot. Never mind.
But if you want to be a fourth-ranked team in the country,
whatever, same thing.
You need to start dominating some teams, man.
That's true.
Because their schedule is not difficult compared to the rest of the squad up here in the top 10.
Yeah, if they have to play one of these other big teams like in the top 10, like their defense, if they don't
what happens when they're behind?
Suspect,
like, can they play from behind at this point?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
Cam Ward can throw 500 yards.
Well, exactly. They had to rely on Cam Ward throwing 500 yards. Can you imagine if their defense stopped 1 or 2 extra drives? Holy shit, they'd be dominating these guys. But they just seem they can't get it to put together on the defense. So that's my thought that's my theory on the number 4 Miami Hurricanes. I know that kind of brought over from the SMU talk there, but
it's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that team. Like, I know you guys are kind of hyped, but I just have a gut feeling that I just can't trust it.
I got you. Well, hey, none of those teams play each other.
No,
like Miami, SMU, Clemson, none of them play each other at the end of the year. So it's a big toss up. They just got to beat who's got left, and
it's got to have
Miami
a
gonna run it.
Great record. And the kind of last topic of the Week 10 reaction that I kind of want to chat about was obviously the Ohio State Penn State game. The first thing I'm going to say, Jordan, I have 2 points, but I'm gonna give you the floor. But 2 points. The main one was that noon game fucking killed them. That noon game absolutely fucking killed Penn State.
Fifth pick,
I'm so sorry,
Jordan. 5th option.
Yeah, we looked at it. We looked into it a little bit, and I guess when they're going through the picking the games, the schedule, the game, Fox picked them as their like, if you were to put it in a draft sequence, they picked the Penn State Ohio State game on their 5th pick of where to place it. That's fucking wild to me.
That's bananas.
I just don't get it. So
that matchup always is legendary. Remember the night game with Saquon and Ezekiel, or not Ezekiel Elliott, but Saquon was going fucking bananas.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I
goes there and just
I was
dominates.
listening to what is his name? Joel Klatt. Yes. Yep. And
big Ohio State homer.
He does. Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if that he's a Colorado boy, but he was talking about this might be something that, he said, hey, I heard the feedback. A lot of people wanted it to be a night game. They were, a lot of fans are upset that it was a noon game. And he said, this might be something that, it is what it is. Fox got the choice to do it. It might be more coming in the future. So it might just be best to get used to it. Fuck that. Noon is fucking dog shit. All of it, especially at Penn State. Night game, white out, music's going, the fucking lights are on. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me about
all the big games. All the big games in SEC are nighttime.
Exactly.
Georgia, Alabama, nighttime. LSU, Alabama coming up nighttime at Death Valley. You go to Texas A&M, Kyle Field at night. Like, all these games, these college campuses need the nighttime to fully explode that freaking passion for their team. And I really think that noon Penn State and Happy Valley there, State College, I think that just fucking blew a lot. I mean, they tried, and you can tell that they tried to have momentum.
They were loud at some of the points, man.
I mean, one thing happened wrong early, and it was just like it felt like you guys had nothing to overcome. It was tough. I was really pulling for Penn State to knock Ohio State off because I hate Ohio State, dude. I'm so tired of them, man.
Just sick of them for sure. I feel
sick
that.
Of them. So, I mean, what else do you think was the issue in that game? What do we need to do as a Penn State squad?
Honestly, not disappointed in the way the game went. It was 2 good teams going at it, right? That's literally what it was. I will say though, the only issue I have is not with the players, or the way the game was played. It was the play calls at the end of the game not the end of the game, more like 5-6 minutes with basically Penn State was trying to score. It was 20-13. They needed a score. They were inside the 5-yard line after like a 33-yard run from Tyler Warren, which is awesome. Gets him down inside the 5. It's 1st and goal. They run the ball 3 times with Kaytron Allen at the fucking middle. Don't get creative. They their guard that was in motion. I don't know if you guys saw any of those plays. The guard that they took from the wideout and ran him in motion to kind of to be the edge block on the left side. That's their starting left guard. They took him out of the middle of the fucking field to to put him in motion, to then not run at their best lineman. What are we fucking doing? You know what I mean? Kotelnicki and his whole play call and that entire thing fucking frustrated the shit out of me. So you do 3 runs on the inside, you get 1 yard each time. Great. You get on the 1 yard line, and then you're like, we're going to do a play action pass over the top. Nobody fell for shit, right? You didn't give it to Tyler Warren one time. You're probably your second best runner, maybe third best. That's fine. But your most athletic person, the way it is, if you haven't run quarterback and halfback. You didn't give the ball to Nicholas Singleton one fucking time down there, right? You didn't do anything creative with an off tackle or a power O or any of those outside runs where you could bounce it out and then let the halfback decide, oh, I'm gonna cut it back in, whatever it is. So like everything else was fine. The defense played well. I was very happy with Drew Aller. I was very happy with our defense. It was fantastic. Just the absolute play calls, man. Oh my God, the play calls at the end in the goal line formation and those goal line plays, absolutely the most frustrating part of that whole thing. So not disappointed in the way the game was, very disappointed in the play call. I know you're thinking it's Penn State. Why can't they get 1 yard? Exactly. That's how I feel about it too, but you don't need to call the same 3 plays with the same guy going in motion, the same direction every single time. That's what
as a former defensive player, you can sniff that shit out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, there was.
I remember the second time when they ran that play the second time, I was watching. I told Allie, I said, "Yep, watch same fucking play, same play, boom, what did it A gap? Like, oh my God!" And then they ran it the third time. I'm like, no way, they did that. So Ohio State had 358 total yards. Penn State had 270. Ohio State gave Penn State 2 opportunities. And turnovers, an interception, and a fumble, and they kind of controlled the time of possession just a little bit. With that much time possession, I'm just so surprised that, one, you guys' rushing yards weren't very high. And it just seems like your offense could not do anything. And I don't think Ohio State's defense is that good, but maybe they are. I mean, maybe they really are.
They are. Their safeties are NFL prospects waiting to be drafted.
That one guy from Alabama, isn't it? I can't remember his name, but he transferred
Cam Johnson
from Alabama
or something like that.
Yeah, some crazy shit. But the third down efficiency, I mean, Ohio State's about 50%, but I mean, Penn State.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs. Yeah, but Penn State was 3 for 11 on third down. Like, you guys got to execute third downs. Now, I don't know if those were third and longs. I don't know if they're third and short, third and manageable, whatever they were.
Either way.
Still, you have to execute, especially versus a top team. And you're at home, so you're supposed to have that advantage, right? It was just tough. It was a tough watch for me because, like you said, it was 2 badass teams going at it, and they were going at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it was a good watch in that sense, but just the offense, like, you could not get the offense rolling.
I mean, neither one of the teams was crazy, right? It's not like you were watching.
Will Howard only barely had less than 200 throwing, but they outrushed you guys and had those 2 big plays. I mean, that interception in the end zone that looked like it was going to be a touchdown. You couldn't see shit. Everyone's going bananas, and then they found out that he did pick the ball off, and that threw some momentum the other way. And then
that was right at halftime.
Yeah, that was right at half. So
Stupid.
I mean, yeah,
we just threw 2 red zone trips. You left 14 points on the board. 14 points wins you that game. So
you roll into halftime 14-10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, still there. And then the second half was just a field goal. Like, oh, that's tough, man. That's tough. But hey, that's big time football, right? I mean, Ohio State didn't do shit in the second half either. I mean, they a field goal and a field goal, third quarter, fourth quarter. So yeah. I mean, this is what football is all about, though, right? Getting these kind of matchups before, even the end of the year here. I mean, then we got 4 games left, but still, these matchups are just been going on all year long.
Yeah,
it's badass to watch. I was impressed though because I know Ohio State is the top dog. Everyone's Ohio State. I was worried about Penn State going in because there hasn't had much competition going into that. I mean, they've had a few games, but they haven't really showed that like dominant force. So I'm glad their defense was able to stuff it up and put it to them. So that's good. That's good hope for you going forward, though.
Yeah. And all those boys except Tyler Warren are juniors. So hopefully they come back.
Yeah, hopefully they can come back and have redemption tour. That'd be sweet. Let's hop over to week 11. There's some games getting played right now. The MAC owns Tuesdays and Wednesdays, man. They love that shit. Love it. They're going at it right now. I'm looking at the schedule here. I'm kind of jumping to Saturday. I don't really see much going on this weekend that has any kind of implications on excitement. Nothing on there. Big game, Miami, Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech kind of had a hot situation. And they were kind of like the hot team to have.
Mm-hmm.
But this game has always been close these last 4 years. Georgia Tech has kind of given them a little fit. So look for Miami again. Like I said, I can't trust them because they start slow, and it's hard to overcome. I mean, it isn't actually hard to overcome when you have Cam Ward. I mean, he makes a hell of a difference, and honestly, Heisman needs either him or Gentry. I don't know, but yeah, tough game there. Who wins that ball game, Daniel?
I mean, I want to go with Miami, right? Like you said, yeah, I know their defense is sketchy or whatever, but I mean, boy, again, it's fun to see them. Their offense is exciting to watch, and
Very.
Again, they start out slow. They've had some close calls, but until they finally either blow it or whatever, I'm just let's ride the train, right? Let's ride the hurricane. That's the fun thing about hurricanes, right? They're wild and unpredictable. So let's go with that. Cam Lord.
Well done, Cam Lord.
I am Lord. I am Lord. Yeah.
I am Lord.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami as well. I feel like I'm gonna ride that train too, just because I think too much firepower. Even if the late start against Duke still came back and had a ton of unanswered.
Okay, let's roll through these. Number 2, Georgia going to Ole Miss. They went to Athens last year, and Georgia beat the living shit out of them. Is this going to be a different aspect at home? Is Lane Kiffin going to have something for these Bulldogs?
I'm going to be honest with you. Not if Jordan Watkins has the game he had last week. I'll tell you what.
There we go.
8 receptions, 254 yards for 5 touchdowns. That's bananas.
Insane.
That's crazy, right? That's just absolute insane stat line. Jackson Dart, if he throws it all over, he had over 500 passing yards and 6 touchdowns last week too. So we'll see. Well, I think it's more Georgia's defense got to pipe up, because you don't see a lot of these Georgia teams in the weekly leaders stat lines, meaning they're just winning as a collective, which is good for them. But they got some firepower they need to stop over there at Ole Miss. So we'll see. But I think I'm going to end up going with Georgia, because I think they'll have that. I don't think Lane Kiffin will have them ready to go.
All right, Daniel.
Yeah, I think kind of same thing. Like, if you can get the Ole Miss that played like last week to show up, I mean, anything's possible. Obviously, we've seen Georgia can get, you catch Georgia the right way, you can make them look like a MAC team. Like, they're just just a average team. So it's definitely possible. It's just one of those things where you got to have the right kind of game plan and the right kind of things fall in place. So I would say it's borderline a coin toss for me, but I would lean just maybe 60% Georgia, right? So I'd give the edge to Georgia, but like Ole Miss definitely has the pieces to be able to beat them and it not be like, whoa, crazy, you do what you did last week and just treat them the same, right? Like, and you're in. But Georgia's been kind of, they've rebounded fairly well ever since the loss to Alabama, right? Like, they've managed to hold it together. So
yeah,
give it.
I'll tell you what, though, Ole Miss beats them. That really spices everything up.
Yes, it sure does. Yes, it sure does. Quickly, Michigan, Indiana. I don't think this is much of a contest, but I just wanted to see what you guys' thoughts on that. If do you think Michigan can go in there and take down this red hot Hoosiers team down in Bloomington?
I don't think so. Not this year. Not where Michigan's at as a team. I think they've had a rough season, right? And I don't even know who took over for their quarterback that retired.
He's a kid from Center Grove. He went to Tennessee for 2 years, and then he's IU now. So he's an older guy. Yeah. If he can get after, I mean, he played well versus Washington and held his own. So we'll see.
But I've got no reason to doubt IU really. But that would be the X factor, if anything, would be that change that they've made behind the line
quarterback situation. Okay, cool. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. A really big game with Big 12 implications is number 21 Colorado going to Texas Tech up in Lubbock. Huge, man. Texas Tech is rolling right now. They just knocked off the undefeated Iowa State at home. That stadium is going to be absolute bananas. And this will be the second biggest game for Colorado, as in home field advantage for the opposite team. So Texas Tech, I mean, I don't know. Colorado's pretty hot right now. They're playing good football. So and they're 3.5 point favorites on the road. Do you think Texas Tech can take them down and take care of business and really shake up that Big 12?
To be honest, I just don't like Colorado, so it's hard to. I don't know what it is. So I would love to say they'd lose, but again, they have dynamic players that can change a game pretty easily. It's a hard one.
I don't think they got enough. I think Sanders, Hunter coming out firing.
There's too much to overcome.
First round picks next year if they want to be, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be nuts.
Shadir Sanders did come out and say he will be entering the 2025 draft.
Oh shit, good for him.
So he will be entering the draft after this year.
Good.
All right, Colorado rolls on that one then. They take care of business.
I'll say he's a senior, so I would hope so.
I think he has a red shirt yet.
Gap year.
Or he has another year. He can eligibility yet.
Got you.
Because you know how you have 15.
Backpacking through Europe, take a little break.
Yeah, probably. That's a good idea.
A little break, a little sightseeing. Big
yourself.
Game. We talked about it at the top of the hour here. Number 11 Alabama goes to LSU Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 7:30 night game for the old Brian Kelly and the boys. Do you think LSU has what it takes to take Alabama down and eliminate them from the college football playoff?
Yes.
Jordan, you want to go? Yeah, there.
All right.
Yes, because I want them to, not because I think they will.
Yes, I'm going Brian Kelly on this one.
Even though that kills me too, because he's a piece of shit.
I know that hurts a lot. But yes, I'm with you.
To be fair,
respectful, but he's a piece of shit.
Alabama's a lot like Georgia, right? We've seen that they're vulnerable, they're beatable, right? And so LSU, I mean, is as likely as anybody to be able to potentially add a third notch to that. And in agreement with you guys, like I'd like to see them lose. So it's another hard one. It's really that's another one that's going to come down to, does everything align up just right that night?
Yep. And don't give any the college football any opportunity to put Alabama in the playoff. At 3 losses,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like we talked about earlier, I just don't think 3-loss team could possibly do it. Tough. Well, we have that's a decent slate of games from top to bottom, from noon all the way to 7:30. So you should have your eyes captivated. And if these games are going poorly, you can always jump over to the Boise State that are playing at home versus Nevada, another sold-out stadium.
The Wolfpack, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what needs to be studied?
What's that?
The Utah downfall. That's what needs to be studied this year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. They had a quarterback that was supposed to be all that a bag of chips, gets injured every year, and they had to keep changing the game plan.
Kind of sounds like Florida State. They had somebody that was supposed to finally turn it around behind the line, and he ends up being what?
Yeah, he's a shit. So.
No,
but it's true though, because they were supposed to be the top shit.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12, all this other stuff. They were supposed to be the top dogs. So crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Tricky Mormons over there in Utah. All the Mormons are down in BYU, so
they're too busy soaking it, dude.
Too busy soaking it up. Man. Yeah, start watching film.
Jeez Louise.
Jump humping out there.
But other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
I do.
What do you got?
It's for you. Let's talk about it. Let's hear about the announcement, my man. Let's hear it real quick. I want to know about it in the middle. Get everybody ready for it.
Let's get it fired up, right? Hey, I will be starting to go live, right? We're going to play College Football 25 live on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, you might want to, because you're going to start getting those little notifications. Hey, Dingle Dick is live, and he's playing some college football. Let's join him, right? So, hey, I'm trying it out. Uh-huh.
You changed your gamer tag?
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, no, but I will be going live, and obviously join me in, and I plan on taking over the Navy midshipman, and trying that triple option out, so you guys can all join and laugh and make fun of me for trying to run this damn thing. We'll have a counter of how many fumbles I end up giving to the other team. So, well, really pumped about it. I think it'll be a fun time. Add a little bit extra videos and just kind of different content than us three talking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just you can actually watch a game and just kind of goof off and have some banter going back and forth in the chat and things like that. So my schedule right now so far is tomorrow 9:00, Thursday 9:00. Just playing some games. Join in. I'll probably play an hour, maybe 2. Just depends on how many everyone jumping in or whatever. So yeah, that's all I got. That's my announcement. I appreciate that, Jordan. Thanks for the shout out.
I love it.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, I'm digging the angle.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. I think. Just give something different, and that's something that could last throughout the off season too. Um, quick shout out, college basketball tipped off last night and tonight. They have some games as well. If you guys like college basketball, I don't mind digging into that just a little bit as well. Kind of keep track of things. I do love me some basketball. I mean, I got a little bit of Hoosier in me. Come on.
I do have one quick shout out. Just shout out to Hooters. They didn't drop us as sponsors after all the trash talk we had last week, so we appreciate that. So shouts out to them.
Not only is it the drummy or the flapper, it's the whole motherfucking wang, son. I love Hooters. Thank you, Hooters, for letting us drink beers and look at your
even after Zach criticized all the waitresses in the local area that work at ours.
Local talent, got to figure it out. We need a little bit of recruiting, man. Yeah. Maybe Marcus Freeman can get some better talent down here in South Bend area.
So I just wanted to make sure we recognize they stood by us. So good.
Yeah, they stood by us, and they understand that America is all about free speech, and you're allowed to say what you need to say. And I think that was a good respect moment there. So I will be wearing my Hooters shirt 24/7 now from now on. I will buy a Hooters shirt. Or not buy it. They're going to give me a Hooters shirt to wear all the time. Go Hooters. Go America. Go football.
That's right, baby.
And damn, I mean, it can't get much better than this. We're in a prime time in the sport of football, in the NFL and the college football. So sorry, NFL fans, if you're looking for something tonight. I just really, I don't know. Yes, trade deadline happened. There's a few trades, but a lot of the big names already kind of happened this last couple of days. So Marshall Lattimore is going to Washington. That's pretty huge.
That's massive.
Mike Williams going to Pittsburgh. Finally get another receiver. Jadarius Smith. He was at Green Bay, then went over to Cleveland or the Vikings, and then Cleveland, and now he's at Detroit to help infill for Aiden Hutchinson with his injury. Hutchinson, sorry. But yeah, so he's gonna be a huge part for Detroit. Obviously, Detroit is just selling out and looking for that Super Bowl ring.
I'd say the same thing about Washington, man. They're also selling out.
They're going all in. They have a rookie contract. They have a rookie good quarterback. He's a damn good football player. Let's load it up and let's go get you some. I like it. Khalil Herbert from the Bears went to Cincinnati, that's kind of crazy. He did tweet and said, "Thank God." So I don't know if he's just literally thanking God or he's saying, "Get me the fuck out of here."
No, I would be any of their players. We don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, but if you guys fire your coach, it's going to be the same thing as Justin Fields.
It should not be an if. If that coaching staff is carried over to next year, I'm done.
The last two quarterbacks you guys had with Trubisky and Fields, you guys 2 years fired a coach, 2 years fired a coach, and this will be the same thing again. You guys have no solidation. Jesus Christ.
To be fair, look at what happened. We fired Luke Getsy, and look what happened to Luke Getsy, right? He got fired again. So some of them were not bad choices. But I said from the get-go, they shouldn't have carried Eberflus over. They should have given Caleb Williams and all those people they brought in a new staff to start with. Instead, they're going to give them this shitty year. We're going to fire everybody, and it's just going to create more work to be done for them. They're doing a disservice to all those people that they brought in.
All right. I can understand.
Yeah.
Oh, and I might need to renege. I don't know if this is Euchre or not.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
You all right, Dan? Anyway, I think I need to take my word back here. I think I need to. I don't think Joe Flacco is the guy. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to
because
feel.
I don't think you have another guy right now.
Man, I mean. Oh fuck.
Maybe Anthony Richardson's got a good enough nap in now. He's feeling fresh. I don't know.
Dude, they did him such a dirty, man. Chris Collinsworth is talking about it. Like, they're literally saying, hey, you can't be too tired. You can't be a general and, tap out, all that. Everything everyone else is saying. They panned to him, hit mid-yawn, like, big fucking yawn on the sideline. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys. You're just dogging him now, man. No, I don't know what to do there in Indianapolis. I just don't understand what to do at this point. You can't put that product back on the field. That was awful. That was absolute dog shit. This is the first game our defense actually showed up and helped us out, and we couldn't move the fucking ball to save our lives.
Nope, couldn't even run the ball.
And then he gets sacked. He was holding the ball for at least 6 seconds and getting sacked. I mean, it was a sitting duck. So I don't know. Maybe Richardson needs to get in there and fucking run around and just whatever, but not too much. I don't want him to get tired. All right. with that, I love you guys. We'll see you.
One more thing, one last thing before we go. One thing.
Get it.
Saquon gave us another reason why I'm upset why we kept Danny Dimes. So I'm just saying, I just want to let you know
you could put him at quarterback and be better off, man. Did you see that? If you have not understanding what we're talking about and you live under a rock, go on Twitter and just type in Mr. Barkley's 15 juke jump over sideways backflip. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. What an athlete, what a guy, what a star. It shows that a running back really makes a difference. Philadelphia is 6-2 and they're being really quiet about it. 6-2, and they look good. So I like that. Good shout out. Good shout out to you, old Barkley, man. Go Bird, caca, baby. Caca.
I don't know if Eagles caca, but yeah.
I could call. I wake up in the morning, could call every morning. Hey, howdy ho, Mr. Hanky. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go watch this election and start an uproar. I'm just kidding. Let's not do that. Love each other. Love your neighbor. Love football. Love each other. I love you all. Blah 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 blah. See you live tomorrow, 9:00. Tune in. Don't forget. See ya.